Yo, what's up guys? I'm back. Knight Rider 7602 here. And it's finally time to review Dino Charge. It's finally over. We waited a good decent, 2 years to finish up this series. I'm glad it's over. Let's get into review. One of the biggest things I do want to say about Dino Charge is it's actually a good show. We finally got a good Ranger season after the lackluster that was the 20th anniversary. I'm glad. And you want to know something else I'm glad about? This was mostly original stuff. Yeah, we got, the main story here follows an alien named Keeper. I don't know what race he is, but I guess he's a short lizard thing from somewhere, who crash lands on Earth with these magical gems known as the Energems, and he gives them the dinosaurs to protect. Meanwhile, he's being chased by some alien bounty hunter named Sledge, and at one point, he tricks him by thinking he stole the Energems, but in fact, he stole a bomb! Because it's constantly said in the opening, which causes the meteors from a ship to break off and fall into Earth, and then that's why we got the meteor shower. So years later, Sledge has come back to exact revenge on the planet and try to get the Energems. But now there are 10 people who take it up the call to fight Sledge and his cronies, and they are the Power Rangers of Dino Charge. One of the best things about this series is the powers have to be found. They're not just, alright, so here's your Energem, here's your Morpher, go crazy. It's more or less like, oh look, I found this glowing rock. Each of the Rangers do find their Energems, and they don't actually all meet up in one place. In fact, we do get 2 Energem bondings in the first episode, that being the Red and Pink Rangers, which is awesome. Which makes it even more better than I say that I do actually like this cast. The cast is a lot better from Megaforce. Now, yes, I'm going to actually go off into our little behind-the-scenes stuff real quick. So, behind the scenes, Ciara Hanna, the person who played Gia in Megaforce, she talked about, and she gives great praise to the Dino Charge cast for, going out, making conversations, doing jokes and stuff. Whereas her cast, they were pretty much constricted to, let's do this, right, let's go. It felt very constrained. But this, it's more open, and it's fun. There's a lot of world building, actually, and that's something I never really say much for a Power Ranger series. There is world building. But let's get into our characters. We got the Red Ranger, who was Tyler. Now, basically, my problem with Koryuger was literally that this was way too Red's focused. Tyler actually fixes that. It's not focused on him a lot. He's no be-all, end-all savior. He's actually just some dude who just finds the Energem looking for his dad. In fact, the fandom sometimes dubbed Tyler Ryan Steele 2.0. Because he writes into his diary, Dad, I miss you and shit. He finds the Red Energem searching a cave that his dad found. And he also encounters the Monster of the Week and Fury. Or Doggold, as people would remember him from Koryuger. He's more or less like the adventurous, cool guy. He's adventurous, he's awesome. He has his dorky moments, such as whenever he's around Shelby. Something else I really do like about this season is they build up characters' relationships very, very well. His relationship with Shelby is really cute. You can tell he's really trying not to mess up, or he's trying to act super cool around her. And it's one of those things I go, yeah, this would have been better than, hey, when all this is over, you want to get ice cream? Sure, King, let's go get ice cream. Everybody was just loving to suck your fucking dick. Anyways, it's not like I hold a grudge against that series for that one thing. Anyways, I also like Tyler's whole character quirk of taking a selfie. He takes selfies in the first few episodes, but then it's slightly dropped, Then he brings it back every so often. This is something that Ninja needs to learn from. You don't shove our characters' quirks down their throats. But enough of that. Tyler is really cool. I actually enjoy him. He's not sciencey, but he's more or less hell-bent on trying to find his dad. Which makes sense, because his dad disappeared. It isn't like he straight up left him. And he drives around in a Jeep, and it's really cool, and it's the Ranger's mode of transportation sometimes. And I like Tyler. Case closed. Second, we now go to the Blue Ranger, Koda. Koda, who is Caveman. And this is how he speaks, because he is Caveman. And then he has to remind you every 5 seconds that he is a caveman. Do you see where I'm going with this? Yeah, so Koda is one of the few Rangers that actually proves the test of the Energem's powers. One of them is, whenever you bond to an Energem, you stop aging. So Koda is a caveman. He bonded to the Blue Energem when he tried to save his brother from a saber-toothed tiger. Huh. Okay. And he fell off a cliff and he was frozen. The museum director / Purple Ranger, Kendall, unfroze him, and he now lives in the 21st century as a caveman who has no fucking clue what's going on. A lot of times, I really did like Koda, and it's mostly because he's mostly there to be adorkable. Like, he'll say something that will be kind of stupid, but it's kind of funny. Like, there's a line where he sniffs the air and he's like, I smell danger. And Chase is like, really? I don't smell anything. And he's like, you're right. I just see Curio. And it's kind of hilarious, but then there are some other things like there's a moment where he smashes Shelby's phone with a stick because he is not sure what his cell phone is. Which makes me think, how come Kendall or no one else had taught Koda how to live life in the 21st century? He kind of gets by being the museum's muscle, and he does really well. But it's so weird, and he doesn't his speech patterns doesn't change. It's still it's changed slightly during Supercharge, where he's but he will speak more fluently, a little bit more fluently. One other thing I do like is, for some unbeknownst reason, he keeps mentioning mammoth hunts. I was once on mammoth hunt with my brother. And if I could actually recommend a good Koda-focused episode, I don't know why, I do like the Warg World, the one where he kind of befriends a robotic caveman. But there are some other good ones, I think the one with the jail monster, I can't remember the name of it, but that was a good one, and Home Run Koda was actually really good. I actually do like his focused episodes because, like I said, it's a caveman trying to learn life. What more do you want? Also, ladies, yes, he gets shirtless from time to time, and I don't know if that floats anybody's fancy, but we can sing the praises of Yoshi Sardoso in a bit when we get to the end. And we no use starting now. Anyways, on to our Black Ranger, Chase. He is more or less the goofball character, comedic relief ranger, but he's a damn good fighter, and he lives up to being the ladies' man character that Ian was in Koryuger. It makes sense, and I do love that he is, he's from New Zealand, and he mentions New Zealand. It's not a magical place. He's like, oh yeah, I live in New Zealand, and my parents are in New Zealand, and my sister. There's a really, really cute episode. The Christmas episode's really good because there's the subplot of that episode is Chase wants to get back to New Zealand to be with his sister and his mom for Christmas, and at the end Santa gives him a lift, and that's really cool. You don't really see Chase being a ladies' man too much, but then you see him kind of drop that whole thing when he gets his actual girlfriend, Kaylee. I think her name was Haley or Kaylee. And it's really cool. At first there's this whole thing where Chase, tries to be super cool, but it doesn't work, and then he wins her over by being kind of honest with himself. And, you know, they even, like, she shows up in a few other episodes. Like, she shows up in the one episode where the monster is, like, this deranged beauty. Like, one of the foot soldiers is, like, a fashion beast or something. In this one, they change it to, like, she's a love-struck monster. And at first falls in love with Tyler, but then falls in love with Chase. And I wanted to just quote one of the most cheesiest lines. This is the cheesiest line in all of Power Rangers history. Say what you will. This line that I'm about to say is the most cheesiest line. Literally, Chase goes, listen, there's only one girl I fly to the moon for, and she's not you. Oh, I can just, the cheese just oozes from that line. But it's a great line. Because it's Power Rangers. And Power Rangers is meant to be really, really fucking cheesy. I do love the fact that Chase skateboards. And they do keep it a lot. Like, he skateboards on, like, the dolly thing. The rolling thing for crates. He skateboards around the museum. Hell, like, he, you know, skateboards and does chores around the museum, which is funny. And yeah, Chase is really cool. I actually do like his headsets. He carries beats. And I like his backstory of how he bonded to the Inner Gem. It was mostly because he saved a shop owner's life, and she gave it to him for free. I mean, oh, I get a magical item for free. That would be totally rad, right? Anyways, moving on. We got Riley. Okay, so we need to talk about Riley for a minute. Because Riley is a smart guy. He comes up not with a lot of the big plans, but he does help Miss Morgan with some of the technology. And very strangely, the weird part about Riley's fighting style is when we first see him fight Fury, he's fencing him. He's a fencer versus the style he uses when he's in a ranger form, which is more of a unique samurai style. But I personally enjoy it. I don't care, like, they had to, like, you know, fix that for whatever reason. Riley is smart and intelligent. He grew up on a farm he has a brother named Matt, and we really don't know much else, but we know, like he's very competitive, because there's an episode where he gets into a big fight with Matt over, like, some kind of competition that they were having. And there's a line that he says that many people have underestimated him before, or people have said things about him that weren't true, or people have, like, made assumptions about him. Oh, there we go. It was like people have made so many assumptions about him that they're not really sticking. And the entire fandom jumped on, oh, Riley's gay. That makes total sense. Riley is gay, and we're going to ship him with Chase, because he's always, you know, because for some, like, he's always on Chase's, like, you know, case whenever he doesn't do his job. And, you know, he calls him Hot Shot. It's really cute. No, literally in another episode, they explain it's because he's actually super smart. Because he grew up on a farm, and people from farms are technically dumb. You know, like, stupid dumb. He's actually pretty fucking smart, but for some reason he sees numbers and some weird vision, and it's so fucking weird, and I don't understand where that comes from. It's just like, I can see the angles and the trajectory, and just... Riley, what the fuck are you looking at, Holmes? Wait, dude, what the fuck? Where do you see an angle? But I like it. Riley is smart. He calculates. He has plans. And, oh yeah, he's very competitive. Something I'll get into when we get into, like, something I didn't quite understand about the show. Moving on, we got Shelby, the Pink Ranger. Okay, let's get it out of the way first. Shelby is the first African-American Pink Ranger. Everybody at first go, she's the first African-American Ranger? No. She's the first African-American Pink Ranger. We didn't have, like, most of them were probably other races, other nationalities. Now, Shelby is smart. She knows her shit about dinosaurs. She's working at the museum's cafe. When we first see her, she is begging Miss Morgan to like let her on this, dig, and Miss Morgan's like, no, you don't even understand the basics of making a decent Bronto burger. How could I ever like put you on a dig? She's kind of, she walks away. Shelby sneaks in. She basically gets her powers from being super sneaky, and she bonds with the Inner Gem on accident, to be honest. Shelby is rather smart. She's like Riley. She's very, very smart, and she's very headstrong in her own ways. She wants to learn about dinosaurs, and we learn more about her backstory when her dad shows up. Her dad wants her to be like a business major person, and she's like, no, Dad, I want to study dinosaurs. And she has this cutesy little Triceratops song, and it's really cute. And she actually reciprocates the feelings back to Tyler when, it's obvious that they're in love with each other. Like, yeah, let's go on this picnic. Because that one episode, they go on a picnic, and it gets ruined multiple times by ants, Tyler's dad apparently showing up, and the Monster of the Week. You people just can't catch a break. But I do like Shelby's character, and I love the fact that she knows her shit, and she even, comes up with ways like, oh, I'm gonna like get the Ankylosaur, I'm gonna heal him, and I'm gonna fix it. And it's super cool, and her focused episodes are really awesome as well. Like I said, I like that one about her dad. It's the weird dream episode. The one where the monster, it's the Nightmare on Elm Street-esque reference. I don't know what else to say about Shelby other than, she's like a teenage girl in a way, because she will obviously complain about clothing sometimes. Like, there's an episode where they switch bodies, and for some reason, Tyler, who was in Shelby's body, Shelby, who's in Tyler's body, puts on her clothes, and Tyler, who was in Shelby's body, put on his clothes. So they're all baggy on Shelby, and they're all super tight on Tyler. And at the end, she gets mad, and she's like, I can't believe they're all stretched out. Like, yeah, because you basically dressed Tyler up in your clothing. That's so weird. It's so weird, but it's so cute and funny. And you can tell, they kind of do love each other. Man. Now we're going to go on to the next time locked ranger, who is Ivan. Ivan is the Gold Ranger and mostly keeps his backstory from the Sentai counterpart. Except, he's a knight. He's not a samurai, he was a knight of the fictional kingdom of Xandar, who was protecting a prince when Fury showed up trying to get the Inner Gem. Well, Ivan got the Inner Gem, however, he loses it during the fight with Fury, and Fury seals him within himself. It's the same plot as the Sentai. He basically was sealed inside him for a while, and then he broke free, bonds to the Inner Gem, becomes a Gold Ranger, and it's totally awesome. One weird thing I do want to say is they kept Xander Thunder, and it makes total sense. Because the kingdom is named Xandar, and the attack finisher even spells out Xander Thunder, which was one of my favorite attacks in the entire series. Now, I like Ivan's speech. Unlike Koda's, I am caveman. That gets very grating to me. I guess because I'm more of the guy who listens to Shakespearean actors a lot. He speaks more of a Shakespearean knighthood. Oh, yes. Lady, Morgan or something. You are right. And, he doesn't understand the 21st century at points. But he's more or less like a knight about it. There's some really funny moments, like him being super chivalrous for no reason. And it backfires. Like, the wishing episode, he catches a maiden and he kind of goes on a date with her. And then he winds up throwing out his back or something. And then there's an entire thing where he tries to donate a brick of gold, and he gets nearly arrested for it. In fact, some of the Ivan episodes do have him, in weird, odd, things happen to him. Like, he damages a royal suit from Xandar, because he thought the thing he was using was a practice dummy. And in one of the most hilarious scenes, the best scene in the entire first half of the season was Ivan gathering a group of random ass people. He gets like a grandma, a street crossing guard, like a band player, a mime, and a magician, and they go to fight the monster of the week. And he's like, "We are like the Knights of Amber Beach." And some of them even got into like fighting stances. Like the tuba guy is like, "I'm gonna fucking bash you with my tuba." And then they all run away when the monsters kind of just do like the, we're scary monsters. It's like, it was just so random. It's random, and yeah, like, Ivan throws in a little bit more historical stuff in his lines. Like, he goes, "Oh yeah, like, I met Shakespeare once, he's a really nice guy. Oh yeah, I know about this event that happened because I was a knight." I do like Ivan, and I like him interacting with the Rangers. I love how, when he first appears, there's a whole thing between him and Tyler over, like, wanting to impress Shelby. Like he's doing, like, Tyler does one thing, and Ivan comes in on a horse. He's actually, like, a knight. He was actually, like, a display at the museum. Like, he would perform shit for them. And I really enjoyed that. Speaking of, the museum, we're going to talk about Miss Morgan. Kendall, the Purple Ranger. I like Miss Morgan in more ways than one. She's pretty cute, and she's awesome, and she's smart, and also she probably is the mother of the group. Whenever, like, the Rangers seem to, like, goof off, she's always there, and she's just like, "Oh my fucking god, you guys." And she comes off more in the first half, not cold, but she's very stern. Like, she's very on top of her game, and she wants this thing happened. Like, that's why, like, she wasn't really trusting of Shelby because she worked at the cafe. And you really are just going, wow, Miss Morgan can be kind of stuck up, but I understand. She's like the director of the museum, and she goes on these digs, and like, she doesn't really think Shelby could handle herself because she's a teenage girl and she doesn't understand shit. Oh wait, she does. They have a really good scene where, more like, Kendall doesn't want her helping, and Shelby gives this whole speech of like, "You gotta let me help, you gotta give me a chance, you're not willing to give me a chance." And she was fine. Now, the one thing about Miss Morgan that I do want to say, I'm going to say it loud and proud, people. She's more of a mentor than Keeper. I said it. Keeper don't show up. But we're going to talk about him later. We got to keep talking about Miss Morgan. Now, same thing happens in the Sentai. She does get her powers from another person. Because this guy, instead of the guy being old and actually throwing out his back, he is a guy who is pretty much a coward and doesn't want to fight. And it makes sense. And the powers even, like, fluctuate. And like I said, it's another thing I really don't understand about the series. Excuse me, I'm trying to get over a cold. And when Kendall becomes a ranger, it's awesome. And she doesn't show up as much. Don't blame me. That's another footage thing. But they do make American footage for her, and it's really good. Especially towards the finale, there's a good fight scene between her and Fury. No, Snide. It's Snide in the museum, in the lair, in the Ranger's base, and she's like, using her sword, and she's spinning around, and she's fighting him off. It's really cool to see Miss Morgan fight. And she's very smart, and she understands how things work. She comes up with so many cool inventions, like the machine that would split Zeno Wing, the Silver Ranger, in like 2 people. Yeah, that actually happened. And speaking of, Kingdom of Xandar, wait, no, there's one thing I really do want to say about Kendall, and you see her grow. Kendall grows from being this stern, I'm the museum boss, and I say goes, to she cares for the Rangers, and she cares for everybody as, like, her own. That's why most people, I like to say, call her, like, Mama Kendall, because she's more she's very motherly to the team, and she's like, yeah, guys, like, I'm gonna take care of you, and everything. Like, she took care of Coda. I mean, come on. Now, we got the other Rangers. Now, there are other Rangers. There were a total of 10. These guys don't show up as often, but they certainly show up when they need to. And the first one is the Graphite Ranger. They changed it. They didn't say it was gray. It is Graphite. The Graphite Ranger, who is Prince Philip. Basically, he is the prince of the kingdom of Xandar. And at one point, he basically is like kind of very weary of, the Rangers keeping Xandar stuff, in a museum. I don't know, cue some Indiana Jones lineup. It belongs in a museum. But, yeah, he's very stuck-up-ish at points, and, he's like, I'm a prince, and, everything I say goes, and I'm kind of a jerk. But then he sees the Rangers doing and helping, and he wants to get in on that. He finds the Graphite Energem, and he tries to bond with it. The entire episode is him, like, trying to bond to this Energem. Like, he does so many things. Like, he opens a park. He fixes shit. He gives people money. He does all these good deeds, and the Energem doesn't bond to him. And it's one of those, like, yeah, but you're doing it to obviously please him. You have to do something that comes from the heart. Which he does. He winds up saving a kid, and it finally bonds to him. The Graphite Ranger, there's really not much I can say about Philip's character, but yeah, like, he changes. He's now more or less of a good person than, like, a total jerk, and that's all I can really say about him, because he doesn't show up a lot, but when he does, he shows up maybe, like, to help or, provide support. Next, we got the Aqua Ranger, who is Tyler's dad, James Navarro. So, basically, the story about this was the landslide that split him from Tyler. He found the Aqua Energem and he bonded to it. However, Fury kept chasing him, so he had to leave Tyler in order to keep him safe. That's why, like, he's been gone so much. I don't even think he's not a deadbeat dad. Everybody was kind of, like, on his case, like, James, you're a deadbeat dad. You abandon your child. And I'm like, so you let the crazy psycho Thundercat dude show up at Tyler's house to murk him, to murk James. Yeah, but he's a deadbeat dad. No, he's not a deadbeat. He's completely normal. He leaves, and yeah, like, I hate the fact that every episode he shows up, he's like, I gotta go. And you can tell that Tyler's like, no, I don't want you to go, I want you to stay. He's like, I have to help, I have to find the Silver Energem. So that's, like, the big thing that was happening in the other half of the season during Supercharge. They want to find the other Energems. Now, a lot of people were like, okay, so we know, like, the Aqua Ranger powers get transferred over to a woman because the footage shows, like, there's a woman fighting. And I go, that could be true, and maybe, like, Tyler's dad will be Silver, but no. They don't do anything from the finale. They don't bring too many fights from the finale of Koryuger, which is great. Now, Tyler's dad is really charismatic. He cares for his son. At first, he comes off as too overprotective, but he kind of lessens up as time goes on. And that's all I can say about him, because he doesn't show up as often either. We can't talk about Zenowing, because he is the Silver Ranger, and yeah, he's Tauren. For some reason, they didn't want to bring Tauren into this as the actual mentor. I guess because they thought it would be a little harder to, like, work his suit or something. So they made his backstory that he was Zenowing because he touched the Dark Energem. Basically, an evil Energem that was made from pure darkness. And it pretty much is the only reason why the Energems don't work at full power, apparently. I don't know. I don't make the rules of power. Zenowing comes off as very kind of harsh at points. Like, he doesn't want the Rangers training with him. He's like, I'm going to do this my way. I'm going to beat, like, Doomwing, his dark counterpart. But once again, like, he grows to know and love the Rangers, and he's really cool. And it's really cool to see I'm sorry, but Kendall's actress is like, how cool is that? We have a bird on our team, a freaking bird. And like, there's really nothing else to it. Like, poor, like Zenowing is like, he shows up and then we don't get too many episodes with him. That's the Rangers. The Rangers are really, really good, and I actually do like them. I mean, I wish I got more focus on like the extra Rangers, Graphite and Aqua, but I understand footage reasons. Now the villains. Now I really couldn't talk about the villains because there's really only maybe two of most noteworthy villains I could talk about, and that is Sledge. We're gonna talk about Sledge first. So Sledge is basically the first half of the season's villain. Big Bad. He's like an alien bounty hunter that captures aliens for money, and he also has like an asteroid collection. And one of the big things is he is trying to marry Poisandra, who is I forgot her Sentai name, but she was a monster on the Sentai. He tries to marry her. She always promises like, oh, like once you get all the Energems, then will you marry me? He's like, oh, of course, Poisey. Yeah, it was really weird. And he doesn't do a lot of fighting at points. He actually shows up in some episodes and actually do fight. And he's a threat when he is. Like, he throws the Rangers around, he blasts them with his blasters, he flies around on a jetpack. It's really, really good. It's really good to see Sledge. He's calculating and he plans a lot. And there are some really good ones, too. Like, he plans, like, oh, I got this guy in maximum security. Like, we get him to steal the Energem or something. And it's a dude. It's some random-ass guy. And here's what everybody else thought. Because the description for Supercharge at first said it will have something to do with Go Busters. It will have Go Buster element. And we're all like, so this guy's supposed to be Enter? I mean, he has powers. Like, he shows off like he glows. But there's nothing else to it. We don't know anything else about the guy. So Sledge is really cool, and he's kind of like this big lumbering dude. But I mean, I personally like the character, and albeit I wished he kind of stayed. Dad, I'm sorry. The Rangers supposedly killed him, and then he comes back towards the end. It's kind of like, I wasn't dead this entire time, but we're going to talk about that later. The other villain worth mentioning is Heckle. So Heckle's the dude with the goggles who we all thought was American Enter. Heckle is really cool because I actually like this dynamic. He's a guy who is like, he's very sarcastic when he's in human form. He's like, oh yes, I'm going to like do this, and he's really cool looking. But then he turns into Snide, which everybody and their moms go, isn't that Zeltrax? Yes, so I'm going to quickly explain something to people who probably don't know this. So, when Choryuger had like its big Versus movie, the Versus movie was with Go Busters, a series that was never adapted into Power Rangers. Now, in the movie, they bring back two very dangerous villains from Sentai's past. They basically bring back Zeltrax, and they bring back Goldar. And they give them like power, and they enhance their powers. The villains enhance their powers like tenfold. So he is basically the movie Zeltrax, which I like, and he does fight, and it's really cool. And he more or less has like it's a split personality. And we're like, why does he have that? Why is he like, is he going to be split from this thing? Because every so often when he tries to do something, he's like gotta like turn back into Snide. And there's a good plot line where he works at the Dino Cafe with the Rangers, and things are going well. Like, he's trying to like, oh, if I work close with the Rangers, I can find their base of operations. And in the dream episode, he takes like a pillow and he starts like, knocking out the Rangers with the pillow. And straight up, people also just go, did he just chloroform Kendall? Because he just goes, sleep tight, pretty lady. I'm like, no, you didn't say anything else when you did that to the other Rangers. Why them? Why her? And his plan gets found out, and he's snide, turns into snide. And, Heckle does a lot. He even fights in his human form as well. He has, magical beings. He charges and he fires it. And then we get his backstory. So, he's an inhabitant of, get this, Sentai 6. Sentai 6. I'm not even making this up. Basically, he was an inhabitant of that planet, and he touched the Dark Energem when he was, trying to get away. Which turned him into Snide. Which made me go, so the Dark Energem just turns people into, their darker counterparts. And at one point, yeah, he does split from Snide. Which is really cool, and he actually turns good in the end. A lot of people were kind of like, can he be an evil ranger? I want him to be Def Ruger. And there was a picture going around of him in, mid-morph. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this could work. It never happened. I watched the finale twice to make sure I didn't miss anything. He never morphs. And I'm really, really upset with that. And I'm really, really kind of nipped about it. It never ceases to amaze me, the internet. There could be fake pictures out there and we don't know it. Should I really talk about the rest of the villains? I mean, there really aren't much to go on. It's except for, actually, they do change up everybody's personalities. They're not doing the whole emotion fills their power meter thing. So, they have different personalities. Poisandra is more, I want to marry Sledge, and she acts like a girl wanting to get married. Wrench, who is Agaron, he doesn't have that big moment like that was in the finale either. They're all unceremoniously destroyed, and that's why I really don't want to talk about them. And with that, I want to just go on and talk about something that I really, really didn't understand. The Energems. No, wait, no, we have to talk about Keeper. See, I totally forgot about Keeper because he doesn't really do much. So, Keeper is the guy who found the Energems, oh yeah, I have the Energems and I tricked Sledge. The weird thing for me is, if he's supposed to be this mentor character, why doesn't he never show up? He shows up whenever the plot demands, and whenever he shows up, it's to give the big lesson of the day. Sometimes might doesn't always mean right. Okay, I'm just gonna go back to bed now. And then there are some times where Keeper does actually pull his weight. He fights. He will fight monsters. He uses magic to, uncover the Titanosaur. It's just, where was this Keeper in the entire show? He's just there, and he's just, I don't know what I'm doing. Either they couldn't animate Keeper, or they couldn't get, enough time with him. I don't know. Really, really shit mentor. That's why I'm saying that Kendall's probably a better mentor. So let's not talk about Keeper. Let's move on to something I didn't quite understand. The Energems. Okay, well. The Energems, I don't understand because their powers are very, very finicky. It grants the Ranger super strength. It grants them, immortality, basically. I don't think it grants them immortality. They just stop aging. And it gives them, something else. It varies. It gives them super speed or agility or whatever. Now, something I don't understand is the powers seem to malfunction? I don't know, that's the definition I want to give, because malfunction, I don't think it's that the word I'm looking for. I'm sorry, it's just I'm hearing my neighbors outside. I feel like there's something wrong, but I think it's just their dog. Anyways, yeah, so let's get into something that bugs me. So the Energem doesn't work for Chase when he makes fun of Shelby because she likes a boy band. That's literally like a thing that happens in an episode. Yeah, your powers don't work because you made fun of Shelby. But then Riley, who's trying to win a competition, uses his powers for cheating. And it works for him. Very, very finicky. And apparently, I guess the bonds of friendship also ties them to the Energems, because when they're all kind of fighting each other in this one episode, their Energems are close to shattering. All except for Koda's, because Koda's will is strong enough because you're all my family, and you really people take good care of me when I was out of ice. So, there you go. It's another good Koda-focused episode. I have to say, this show is really, really good. Now, a lot of people have literally condemned this show to hell because, well, the finale. The finale is one of the big X's in the series. This doesn't really make or break the series. One bad episode shouldn't be like a downfall, but it's the finale, and it really will dock points. So, the finale isn't anything lackluster. They destroy the Dark Energem with the power of sunlight and help from people. They do show, at least they show the people like that were prominent in some episodes, so I do give it extra points for that. Another thing I didn't like about the finale is, I'm pretty sure they just retconned 20 years of history. What do I mean by that? Basically, the dinosaurs were never extinct. They stopped Sledge in the past, meaning the dinosaurs never went extinct. Meaning when they went back to the present, there's now a dinosaur zoo. There's a dino zoo. Meaning the Mighty Morphin didn't exist, Dino Thunder doesn't exist, and whatever other powers that any of the Rangers had never existed. You just retconned 20 years worth of history. I don't even understand. Maybe it's going to be an alternate dimension thing like RPM. Who knows? The writers really dropped the ball with the finale. It should have just been Keeper went back into space, took the Energems. They should have... First of all, Sledge should not have been alive. It should have just ended with Snide. They fight Snide, they kill Snide. Snide comes back even powerful before, merges with the Dark Energem. They beat they beat Snide in a final crazy Megazord fight. That's how it should have ended. No, they go back to the past, basically destroy everything before it happens, and now the past has been fucked up. I don't even think Barry Allen fucks up the timeline this badly. Oh, well, to be honest, Barry Allen retconned at least 50 years of history. So, I guess you guys are neck and neck for who fucks up the timeline the most. Another thing I didn't like about the show is, I didn't like Koda's caveman shtick too much. It was very weird, but it's very, very dorky and adorkable, so I guess it's more of a neutral thing. I do like the actual episodes that aren't really focused on anything. There are like a Halloween episode is really weird. There's a weird Halloween episode where it's like, oh yeah, the Rangers are put on trial and it's a clip show. And then you got the Christmas special, which was a clip show. And now there's going to be a second Christmas special, but it's not a clip show, it's an actual episode. Why is it that I keep reviewing incomplete shit? Why do I keep reviewing incomplete stuff? Well, anyways, that's not really going to make it break an entire episode. So, let's get into final things that I'm going to talk about. Oh yeah, I did mention I was going to talk about Yoshi Saradosu for a bit, because Yoshi did something really, really prominent in today's time. He is the first Ranger actor to actually be featured on a Sentai. He actually showed up in Ninja. And the weird thing is, the Blue Ranger helped him. Want to know something funny? Guess who the Blue Ranger is for Ninja Steel? His brother! Holy fucking shit! His brother is going to be the Blue Ranger for Ninja Steel. And I'm more or less excited. Now, I love Koryuger. Does this series make me hate it, love it even more? Like I said, I'm still not getting over, like, King being the be-all, end-all person. But Dino Charge, really solid series, solid music, solid theme song, solid characters. The finale was very, very missed, and some of the twists and turns were very out there. At the end of the day, I will give Dino Charge an 8 out of 10. Like I said, that finale was a giant axe. Now, let's see if Ninja Steel can actually crave my hatred for Ninja. See you later, guys.